Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, Sampler V series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I apologize for the weak snap. I mentioned this in my last review. A bit of an infection in one of my fingers on my right hand, and that's my snapping hand, so it's like I can't really get the real good stuff. But anyway, folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside my truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is absolutely the case today. And this item in particular, I was shocked because typically, since I do this show, and, fat guy, I tend to go over there and try to keep loosely abridged of, new items coming out. But I went over there, I went to 7-Eleven after I got off work. Figured I'd grab a few things, just some basic shit. And as I was looking around, I'm always head on swivel trying to find new stuff for the show. And I saw this and I was like, well, that's a new thing and it seems really interesting. So, what is it, folks? What am I reviewing for you today? It's boom! It's Reese's. It's a new Reese's flavor. This is the Reese's Chocolate Lava Big Cup. Okay? That, right? I'm allowed to be a little bit, that's pretty neat. Because, really, the closest thing that, at least in theory, I haven't tried it yet, but, they had the Reese's Caramel Big Cup that they came out with. I reviewed that, by the way, in case you're interested in my take on it. But Reese's have been doing some stuff, man. They've been trying to, toss some shit out there. And I've been surprised at how many of them they've actually kept going, like the potato chip ones, which I also reviewed, 3 years ago, something like that. So, but anyway, let's try this. It sounds like it should be really good. But let's get a thing, and we'll just go like this, and we'll kind of get in there like that, and we'll be like, ha 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 ha. Let's give it a go. I'll be interested to see, what this, what form is this going to take, is there going to be, a thing on top? It looks like it's more going to be on the bottom, but it's because it's on top and it's on the bottom. So maybe it's both, but I'm guessing it's probably more the bottom. Ooh, Reese's. I do love Reese's. Just even basic Reese's are just fantastic, so. All right, I'm going to bite into it so we get a cross-section, because that's what the professionals do. Oh, wow. Ooh, that's nice. Not only did they get it at the bottom, they actually rimmed it around. So it's not going to be the sexiest cross section ever, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Peanut butter, then you got chocolate lava on the side, and then also on the bottom. So it actually goes around it. It's not on top, but it goes all the way around it and on the bottom. That's actually pretty neat. And as for the flavor, I really like this. I really enjoy the caramel ones. I've gotten them on occasion since I've done the review. Some of the other ones, like the potato chip ones, every once in a great while, maybe, morbid curiosity. I'm sure some people like them. I don't dislike them, I guess. They're just kind of weird. But with this one, maybe I'll try them again. See, damn it, now it's in my head again. But with this, it's an extra, not only is it an extra layer of flavor, but it's an extra hit of chocolate in a different way. So, it just, man. It gives it an extra depth to it, especially the chocolate flavor. And it's definitely a different type of chocolate flavor. A little bit more rich, maybe a little bit darker. So it gives a little something, something. Now, the only point of contention I have with it, by virtue even just of mass conservation, obviously if you're putting more chocolate in there, you're somewhat diminishing the amount of peanut butter. Now, the great thing about a Reese's is that it, for the most part, is a fairly perfect combination of the two flavors. It's balanced. That's why it works so well. With this, I would say it's out of balance. The chocolate is now clearly taking the lead, especially with the more rich flavor of the chocolate lava. But I'm willing to forgive it in this instance, because even though it does lose that balance that I love so very much, man, that's just tasty. And it really was unexpected. Like, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but it wasn't that. Even though the funny thing is that realistically, what it presented was not something that was too far from what you might think. It's just, I didn't know where to go with it. But let me eat the other one, because I'm a fat guy, for one, and for two, now the first reason is good enough. Oh, yeah. Folks, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. I've had some people treat it as though, you shouldn't be down on yourself. Who the fuck said I was down on myself? I'm just fucking realistic. Like, trust me, when I go in for checkups with the doctor, they don't mince words. They're like, hey, you should lose weight. And it's like, yeah, I know. Trying. Then I do this show, and... But... I do like that. I just think that's really good. I like just the extra depth that it gives it. It makes it feel, it's weird to say, it makes it feel a little bit more premium. This feels like an item that you could have bought at like a fancy local bakery, like 15 years ago. Because I remember like going to bakeries, in sweet shops and stuff, like where they would actually make their own stuff. And some places would make like their own Reese's cups, and they'd always be extra fancy. This kind of feels like something they would have come up with, again, like 15 years ago. But Reese's has just kind of brought it into the fold. But I actually do like that quite a bit. Two questions have to be asked, though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes. I think, for me, even though, again, not all of the Reese's things that they've done have been, like, complete knock it out of the park moments for me. The one that was probably the most disappointing was the Reese's with the Reese's Puffs in it, like the cereal. I did review that, I believe, and that was just not bad, but it left me wondering why it needed to exist. With this, I don't feel that way. With this, again, it feels a little premium. I like the complexity. I like the depth of flavor it adds. It's a nice twist on a classic flavor combination, something that, at least in America, probably a good amount of people are very familiar with. But at the same time, it's not taking it too far outside of its wheelhouse. I like that. And if I'm recommending it, I think this is one you got to try. I really do. I think this is one of those ones, if you run into it, give it a shot. Provided, again, you don't have like allergies or anything like that. It's not worth dying for. It's good, but it's not that good. Instead, if you enjoy yourself a Reese's, hit it up. I'm not going to say it's for everybody, but like, I don't think it's one of those things where, like, again, because it is relatively similar, it's still working in that general framework of what a Reese's normally is anyway. Worst case scenario, you might just not be as into it, but like, again, I think it's pretty nifty, personally. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go with yourselves a truly plane stop flying over my property-tastic rest of your life. I don't even live, like, that close to an airport. It's like I'm several towns away from an airport. As in people going places. Makes it all more annoying by the fact that, like, I don't really travel, so it's like getting in my way. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. As I was mentioning the thing about, again, just being kind of a hefty dude, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you love yourself. At the end of the day, folks, there's a line from Game of Thrones, back before it became dog shit, where Tyrion, Peter Dinklage's character, he's talking with Jon Snow. His actor's name, I don't know his actor's name, I apologize. To him, he's like a millionaire. He doesn't give a shit. And he's absurdly good looking, too. But no, they're having this discussion, and, the character of Tyrion brings up the fact that, look, the world's not going to let you forget that you're a bastard. You're better off just owning it and running with it. That way people can't hurt you with it. And for myself, that's definitely, not a bastard. Maybe a little bit sometimes, but not within the actual context of the word. And, when it comes to my own personal life, it's just, I certainly had to pick that trait up, pretty early on. It's like, look, I'm not the most popular guy in the world. I don't come from a family with money, so I'm not going to have, like, the coolest clothes or, whatever. I'm a goofy-ass motherfucker who likes to joke around and have a good time with people. Most people seem to get along with me pretty well, but not everybody does. And some people are going to take their shots and ding, 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 ding. Doesn't matter to me. So, but not only do you take care of yourself in that way, but again, take care of yourself in terms of health-wise and stuff like that. I know I certainly could do better on that front. So, anyway.